If you're a new player, you've definitely clicked on the right video. Today we're showing an interesting way to start a culture game as China. We're taking our time and going through the decisions we make step by step. You'll have an easier time learning the concepts, and with any luck, you'll be able to apply them to your own game sooner than you think.
If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with the channel.
Alright, so if we're going to be doing wonder spamming, there's nobody better to do it with than the Chinese, and I'm not going to try and pronounce their leader's name, but we'll get into their abilities here. The reason they're so good, at least in the early game, mind you, is they have the first emperor here. When building ancient and classical wonders, you may spend builder charges to complete 15% of the original wonder cost. Builders also receive an additional charge, and canals are unlocked with the masonry technology, which that last bit isn't really that big of a deal for me personally, I don't think, but 15% of the wonder cost is just crazy. It adds up like you wouldn't believe, especially considering their charges automatically come with a fourth charge, or their charges. Especially considering their builders come with a fourth charge. There's like literally no other civilization that you can pick to get as good a start to wonder spamming as the Chinese there. Their next ability here, Dynastic Cycle, is also pretty decent actually. Eureka's and Inspirations provide 50% of civics and technologies instead of 40%. So that, you know, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, 10%, oh whoopty shit, but like it adds up throughout the course of the entire game, where it's not game breaking, but it definitely does help you out. They also have a unique unit, Crouching Tiger, and then an actual terrain improvement that your builders can do called the Great Wall. We're not going to really get into that as much because we're just doing a tutorial for the early game, so those really aren't going to be factors in this video here. Anywho, let's just jump into this. Alright, well, it looks to be a good start so far. Fuck, 2 volcanoes. Guess you can't have it your way all the time, right? Okay, so I'm just going to take a minute here. I'm going to sit and think about where I want to found the city, if I want to move it. I'm thinking I actually might stay in place, to be completely honest, because with this stone here, and considering we are going to be wonder spamming, why not start that spamming off with Stonehenge? So, you know what? Let's just get that tacked in right now. Where is it on here? There we go. And actually, yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, there's lots of production around here. Hopefully we'll be able to chop that forest before these volcanoes go off, because they'll override the forest tile there, so we might be able to get some production if we're lucky. But yeah, I think we will just go ahead and settle in, so I'm not gonna go ahead and plan very much other than the fact that that's where we'll start with Stonehenge, it looks like. I mean, I guess we could do it beside there, but I don't really see any big reason to do so, especially considering there's so many hills over here, and I'd rather not override hills with districts and stuff like that, because we definitely want to get adjacency bonuses on our on our theater squares. They get +2 adjacency every wonder they're next to, so I would imagine that we would probably be placing a theater square here. Now, I'm saying this now, but I like to kind of explore down here as quickly as we can to find out what the terrain's like, because we might be able to find a decent spot to settle a second city, and then we'd have to play around with these to try and fit 2 theater squares around this. I might end up moving the capital's theater square to like right here or something, so that both cities would be able to get the +2 adjacency bonus if we do manage to get Stonehenge up and running. Anyway, with that being said, we're going to start with a scout first and foremost. I'd suggest you do this in basically every game. Just starting with a scout helps you out so much because it allows you to get out there, start accumulating era score, whether it's from finding goodie huts or meeting different civilizations, as well as, I guess, on the off chance that you do find a world wonder out there too, or a natural wonder, I should say. So I'd always basically start with a scout in almost every situation. As far as what we're going to research though, we're going to head straight towards astrology so that we can get Stonehenge up and running. I mean, I think anybody who's played this game realizes that the AI tend to build Stonehenge as quickly as they can, and this is even more magnified when you are playing on DD difficulty. It's just unbelievable. Like, really, I would almost never go for Stonehenge, except for the fact that we are playing as the Chinese, and that 15% boost per builder charge really adds up in the grand scheme of things. So that's basically the only reason I think we even have a chance of getting it. Now, we're going to come down here. So taking a look on our settler lens, which you can either open from this way or just press 4 on your keyboard, we have 2 spots here, the coffee or on the hills that we could settle. I think I will go ahead and actually put it on the coffee. It's always nice when you settle on luxury resources, you don't lose the resources. You actually automatically get them, and you don't have to have the technology. So we don't have to have irrigation. If we plop a city down on that coffee, we'll be able to get it. And it's always nice to get these luxuries up and running as soon as you can, so that you can trade them off to civilizations you meet in the early game for gold, which can give you a nice boost to whichever kind of game you're playing, because you can spend it accordingly, whatever the different objectives you have are. So let's just keep looking down here with the warrior. Again, right now I think that's where we're going to settle, but I am not looking forward to settling next to 2 fucking active volcanoes over there. So let's just keep rolling. Okay, so we got a second continent here. Let's take a look on the lenses. So again, you can click it here or just hit number 2 on your keyboard. So alright, so that sort of changes my mind. The continent's right here. So what I'm going to do is change our plan. We're going to get extra era score for settling on the continent here. So I think we'll go ahead and drop the city here. Now, it is a bit of a shame to miss out on the coffee for the reasons that I was talking about. However, if we check that continent lens again, the coffee is on our tile. And so that's why we're settling here. It's basically for the extra era score. And I know we get 2 for settling on the new continent for sure, but we'll actually get 3 for settling the city here because we are so close to this volcano, even though it isn't active. So that'll just settling the city alone will give us 3 era score. So let's just keep going. Let's go and see what we can see with our builder down here. When our scout comes out, we'll head out in another direction. It kind of looks like the terrain seems to flatten out over here, so I think we'll send them east instead of north, since there does seem to be quite a few hills up there. Again, I mean, this is going to be completely wrong. There could be hills right in the fog, but you never know, so might as well just go with the information we have at the moment. Alright, so our scout is finished. We're going to go ahead and switch into a builder right away. Now, this is so important because we want to have a builder ready for when we switch into Stonehenge, which is still quite a ways away, as I don't foresee us finding a natural wonder. But you never know, I guess. Either way, I think it'll time out well, considering it. If we don't, we have 15 turns to go on that, and that should give us enough time to get this builder out, and then hopefully get a settler after that before we get astrology and have to start putting our production towards the Stonehenge natural wonder. Okay, so there is a coast here, and considering we are playing China, we're gonna want to kind of go gung-ho here for as many of the different early game wonders as we can. I want to get towards irrigation at some point so we can get hanging gardens, and there are some more that are nice and attainable. I mean, if we build a city on the coast, we get the boost towards sailing, which will help get us towards celestial navigation and shipbuilding. I mean, I know those are a way off, but those are definitely 2 wonders that would be nice to grab. Not to mention Machu Picchu down here too as well. So far, it doesn't look like we have any desert and stuff, so the pyramids and Jebel Cabal, I think it's called, what the hell? Oh, Barkal. Yeah, I always screw that one up. Anyway, I don't think they're in the cards for this game. It doesn't look like we have any desert terrain in the near future. But, so with that being said, I'm going to take a quick look around here, and I'll just cut back after I make a decent plan as to what we're going to do as far as city planning here. Alright, so I got things figured out, I think anyway, that it's a pretty decent plan. Again, I don't like these fucking volcanoes that are so close to us, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess, right? You can't have perfectly rolled maps all the time. But anyway, so back to the plan I had figured out here. Basically, we're going to settle our second city here on the coast. Now, that's going to help us get towards those naval technologies that we looked at earlier. But now, I'm going to totally change up what we had been planning here. We're going to shift over the Stonehenge to right here on this flat tile. And I know it looks weird because we have our theater square there for now, but we'll obviously be harvesting that stone. Once we actually build the Stonehenge, we don't have to keep that stone there. We still obviously will have the wonder. So what we're going to do is buy this tile, build Stonehenge here. In a perfect world, we'll get it. But then we're also going to plan to build Machu Picchu here. And that will actually, if we end up being lucky enough to grab this, turn this theater square into a +4 theater square. It'll get a +2 adjacency bonus being next to the volcano and that mountain there. Or sorry, a +6. What am I talking about? It'll be a +6 because it'll get two. Let's just start that whole fucking thing over. Alright, so I think I've come out with a pretty good freaking plan here. I'm actually a little bit excited because this looks to be pretty crazy. Alright, so it's going to take a minute to explain, but stick with me here. So we're going to settle our second city here on the coast, which will help us get the boost towards those naval technologies we looked at earlier. But now we're going to shift over the Stonehenge from one space to the right here from where we had been planning it. And then that opens up a slot here for the Hanging Gardens. Now, I mean, it might be a bit of a stretch that we get both of these. I think we definitely will get Stonehenge for sure, but with the boost that AIs get on Didi, they might have the Hanging Gardens taken care of before we can get to the right technology for it. So what this plan entails is actually getting Machu Picchu here as well. So if we are lucky enough to get that, it's going to end up turning this city's theater square into a +6 theater square, because it'll get 2 culture from that wonder, another 2 from Machu Picchu, so that's 4, and then it will get the adjacency bonus from being next to the 2 mountains here as well, so that'll be +6. And I think that'd be pretty freaking cool if we can manage to get that. And then with any luck, if we do get Hanging Gardens as well, it'll turn our capital's theater square into a +4 theater square, which obviously we'll have to harvest this stone. But that'll be after we build Stonehenge, obviously, because they can't take our wonder back once we've built it. Alright, so let's just keep exploring here. We'll keep sending our warrior down south. And then, as we already mentioned, we're going to be heading to the west here with the scout. Okay, so head across the river here so we can go and grab that goodie hut next turn. We don't want the spearmen there to pop out and attack us either, so that way we'll play it nice and safe. Let's keep exploring with our warrior here to see what kind of other possible locations there are for us to get. Maybe we can get a third city in here or somewhere to the south. Alright, so it looks like somebody's been attacking the spearmen there, so we'll find out one way or the other whether it's a civilization or a city-state, and turns out it's a city-state, so that's good. Oh, we actually got a second one too. Let's take a look here. Unfortunately, we didn't get either of the first meats on them, so that means that there's probably another enemy somewhere in here. So let's just keep headed to the west with the scout. I'm sure we'll bump into them sooner rather than later. It is a bit disappointing that we didn't get those boosts, or the boost. We didn't get the envoys here, so we'll take a quick look. So Geneva wants us to train an archer and Banderbrunner to recruit a great general. Now, we definitely won't be getting a great general as we're going for culture, but we might be able to get the boost for Geneva, so that's something to keep in mind for the future. Now, again, we'll just keep looking with our warrior. Okay, so it definitely looks like there's some nice land around here to grab. Let's actually head up onto this hill here so we can see more of what's around here. But we'll just keep looking at... Oh, nice. Right on, we got another city-state, it looks here. We got the boost towards political philosophy. And we did get this little icon here, so that means we're the first to meet them, which is kind of weird. I mean, oh, I guess there must be a civilization to the north here somewhere, and then one to the south. I guess probably they that would make sense that one civilization met this civ and the other this. I just assumed that it would be the same civilization meeting both of them, but well, it worked out better for us that way. That +2, we'll get +2 production from having an envoy in them when we're producing units in the capital, so that's definitely going to help us build our builders a little bit sooner, and then our settler right after. So that's definitely good news for us. We'll take it. Speaking of settling and being good land to settle here, looks like the frickin' Congo are already on top of it. It's a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is, I guess. Now, I'm really hoping that they don't screw up the city we have planned here. I mean, there is quite a bit of land in here for them to settle, so hopefully they won't, but fingers crossed for that, I guess. Yeah, let's just start heading back with the warrior so that they hopefully just settle in nice and close. Let's kind of zone them in if we can. Now, we do want to go ahead and send that delegation before I forget about it. You always want to send a delegation the first turn you meet civilizations, because otherwise your relationship with them will be bad, and it takes, I mean, you can overcome that crappy start if you don't have the money for it or you just don't feel like it, but it just does make it a lot easier if you send a delegation the first turn you meet them. Oh, which I didn't do. I met them last turn. See, that's what I was talking about. Alright, so the Congo here are going to be a bit pissy with us to start the early game. It's definitely, as I was just said, it's nothing that you can't overcome if you don't happen to have the money, but it would be a nice thing. Now, we finished our builder in the capital here. Let's go ahead and start on that settler right away. Now, I normally would say that it would be no problem to send the builder out. However, I don't know if this scout is the one from the camp over here that was destroyed. I haven't seen any other camps yet, so I'm just going to play it safe and we'll keep our builder inside the city for now. Let's go ahead and quickly purchase the tile here where we are going to be building it on, though, so that at least it's nice and squared away. We'll have to wait until next turn to cross the river. Ooh. Well, so much for the forest tile. I guess we didn't have time to chop it before it went, but oh well, not the end of the world, I suppose. Oh, having so many volcanoes so close to us is really not the best. These two are already active. Hopefully we have a little bit of time before the Lilo volcano there starts spewing shit all over the place. Oh, no way. Alright, I know this is a tutorial for beginners, but do as I say, not as I do. Don't start wars with DD nations early game, but fuck it, I'm taking their settler. Like, with the terrain here, yeah, declare war, screw it, we're taking it. With the terrain that we're in, we'll have a terrain bonus from their attack from the warrior. They'll be attacking over a river into decent terrain, so we'll be safe from even if their warrior and slinger do take a shot, and we'll then just tuck tail and run back up to where we were planning it. So nice. Let's go ahead and create an escort formation now. So hopefully they won't follow us too far. There is quite a bit of distance between where their empire is and then where we plan to settle, so with any luck we'll be able to just piece them out after 10 turns and come away with a free city. Either way, I think it's definitely worth it. Okay, nice, so we met Genghis here, so let's go ahead and send him the fucking delegation before I forget. Okay, so yeah, like I said, you send them the first turn, so he at least won't completely hate us with any luck. Now that we did go ahead and do that, we found them there. I think we'll go ahead and put the scout onto automated exploration. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pick our policies here. We're taking God King because It's just, unless you happen to be one of those civilizations that have absurd faith generation in the early game, or you're lucky enough to find a relic, you always want to take God King first so that you can get your Pantheon up and running as quickly as you can. As far as the policies, I think I'll go with discipline this time around, because if that scout's there, if that wasn't the scout's camp, I want to be able to clear out whatever camp is around us as quickly as I can, so we'll slot in discipline for now. I suggest that normally for beginner players anyways. It's just a better policy all around for you to go with. However, if you are more comfortable defending early aggression from the AIs and barbarian attacks, it is nice to go ahead and slot survey in there quickly, so that your scout can generally get a promotion before your next civic is unlocked, and then you can switch into discipline after that. But this time around, I'm going to go ahead and slot discipline right away here. Alright, so we did survive their attacks. That's nice. Let's just start beelining it and get the hell out of Dodge here if we can. As far as our civics go, we do have the boost towards foreign trade, and although it would be nice to get towards Ilkum, because we're going to be building lots of builders. I don't know how soon we'll be improving 3 tiles though, so I think we will go with foreign trade first. That'll give us a little bit extra time to get another builder out and improve 3 tiles, just because this one is basically going to be spending all their charges to get us our Stonehenge. Now, hopefully we can get the situation under control as quickly as we can with our warrior here, because it's going to be a huge pain in the ass there if we can't get out and start boosting the wonder right away. Not to mention, if the stupid scout goes onto the tile where our wonder is placed down, it actually stops production, and that could get real freaking annoying really quickly. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and put our scout here on automated exploration like we talked about. So somebody built the Great Bath. That's fine. We don't really care about it.
Never again.
Oh, nice.
Gaze upon the beauty spots.
Right, so we got Crater Lake, which gives us the bonus towards astrology.
Crater Lake is a bonus. I don't believe in astrology. I'm a Sagittarius.
Which is sort of nice, I guess, except for the fact that now we're not going to have time to build our settler, because we want to switch into the wonder right away. I mean, with how fast the AI does prioritize it, we'll go ahead and plot that down now. But again, I'm scared I can't really send our builder out to go help with that, which kind of sucks until we get that scout taken care of here. Okay, so as far as the technology goes, I think what we're going to do is take mining really quickly, just because we have so many different hills around that we can, and not to mention the quarries too, that we can improve in order to get the boost towards oh, I'm having a brain fart. The boost towards craftsmanship. And then after that, though, we'll head straight towards irrigation in order to hopefully build our hanging gardens with any luck. So we'll go mining and then head towards irrigation there. Alright, so we are putting distance between us and the Congo, which is nice. Our scout here did get a promotion for finding Crater Lake too, so I think we'll go ahead and... Actually, you know what? There seem to be more forests and jungle and stuff over here than hills, so I think I normally do take the Alpine promotion, but I think this time I'm going to go ahead and go with Ranger, just for those reasons that I just mentioned. In the meantime, we'll put the scout back on automated exploration. Hopefully he can get a good view here as to what's going on before the Mongols close their borders. Now it looks like there's barbarians down here, so what I'll actually do is just go ahead and take them off automated exploration, and let's manually send them up to the north, so we can see what's going on there. Now Alright, nice. The crazy scout is down here, which means if that was a scout that belonged to the camp that was destroyed over here, now that he's next to one of our units, he's just going to suicide himself into our unit, which is more than okay with me. We'll go ahead and plop down our second city here. So this should give us 3 more era score. We're at 4 right now, so nice. And there's the +1 era score for being next to the volcano, and then +2 more for being on the new continent there. So that is nice, and we also got the boost towards sailing there, which is great. And we also have that added bonus that we talked about at the beginning of the video, where you get 50% of an inspiration or civic, or you know what I'm trying to say, 50% of your technology or your civic from the boost, so that adds up as well. I think what we will go ahead and do though is just start on a slinger here for now. While we don't have the best of production at the moment, I think realistically, if the Congo do keep coming after us, it would be nice to have a little bit of a defense. And this is a pretty decent choke. I mean, sure, they can go around here and come in this way, but either way, I think we have a fairly defensible city over here with the rivers tiles too. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now our warrior in the meantime can just heal up. I think this... Okay, so that scout isn't crazy, so we can head straight out with our builder now and improve that tile. Now, with that being said, I am going to head out with our warrior here. We'll heal up, but I want to move him into proximity in case there are any barbarians floating around. So we'll head up this way. So here's their capital.
You find yourself in a hole. Quit digging.
Nice, we got mining. Oh, I guess we met Mexico City too. I didn't even notice that. When did that happen? Jesus. Anyway, I think I will just go ahead and take a shot at the scout here now while we have them. We'll go ahead and put this guy back on automated exploration. And just start boosting our Stonehenge here. Okay, the scout is attacking. So I was right. And that scout was crazy. So we did make the right choice in not sending our builder out. I don't know why he didn't just attack our city though. But either way, we'll head back into the city to make sure that the warrior withstands the attack. And the scout should take care of himself next turn. So again, we're just going to keep boosting our wonder here. We managed to get foreign trade finished, which is nice. Now, in a perfect world, actually, I will go ahead and start craftsmanship, because I think after we do finish boosting the wonder here, that we'll want to go ahead and get another builder out so that we have... Excuse me, we'll want to go ahead and get another builder out so that we have one ready for when this wonder needs to be boosted, which will be coming up in the near future. So we still have 2 more builds. Let's go ahead and use one of them here. Now it looks like the Congo are there scouting. Unfortunately for us, or unfortunately for them rather, they're going to be too late. This should finish the wonder for us.
Can you imagine trying to talk 600 people into helping you drag a 50-ton stone 18 miles across the countryside and muscle it into an upright position, and then saying, right lads, another 20 like that, then we can party?
I like that quote. It's actually, I don't build Stonehenge that often, so it still brings a smile to my face. So we managed to get our excuse me, we managed to get our wonder, which is nice. We didn't get our unit picked off by the Congos. What I am going to do though, instead of using the John the Baptist here to start a religion, what we're going to do is use him to explore a little bit. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and we'll actually, come to think of it, we still have a few turns, right? We got 2 turns until pottery, and then how many towards irrigation? at least 10 into irrigation, unless there's somewhere where we can farm a resource, but I don't really see any other than way out here. So I think what we'll go ahead and do is actually start our settler and build a settler first, and then switch into a builder after. Or actually, I keep backpedaling here. We're going to do the builder first and then go into the settler. Alright, now, I don't know how many turns it's been. Let's see if we can make peace yet. Okay, so they're willing to accept peace. Let's see if they'll pay us anything. They won't. Okay, so let's just accept peace. It's done and over with. We got a free settler out of the deal. So there we go. I have no complaints. It worked out as well as it could have for us. It looks like there is a barbarian camp that spawned here. So it's within 6 tiles of our city too. So we'll get +3 era score if we clear that one out. In case you didn't know, anything more than 6 tiles, you only get 2 era score for. But if it's 6 or below, you do manage to get that extra era score, and it adds up quickly. So let's just keep exploring with our profit here. Actually, that might not be a bad spot right there for our next city if we plop it down right on the jade so we get it right away. Let's go ahead and tack that in now. I mean, we'll take a closer look as we explore a little bit more up there, but and again, in case you don't know, the reason why I am exploring with this great prophet is because he's invincible. He can't be killed. If a barbarian or whatever ends up getting them, they'll attack into him, they'll kill him, and then he'll just be transported back to our city. So it's just essentially a free explorer for now to let us see what's up here and figure out where we want to get our next city plopped down. Alright, so let's go ahead and start headed towards the barbarian camp over here. Now, I don't want to go too far with him. Because ideally, I'd like to head back and found a religion to get some extra era score. And now that I'm thinking about it, we've already secured a normal era. Well, I'm wondering if we play our cards right, we might actually be able to get a golden era next turn. It's going to take a little bit of work on our part. We have between 10 and 30 turns left until the age ends. But I definitely think it is doable. So let's actually try and focus on that a little bit. So I think after this, we'll get our John the Baptist headed back towards our territory. Meanwhile, our barbarian here, I keep calling him a fucking barbarian. Our warrior hero keep headed down towards the barbarians, and our slinger will follow after. It would be nice if we can get the boost towards archery there. Alright, so they went ahead and finished that. We're going to go and start on a builder right away, now that the slinger's taken care of. We did get the builder over here in the capital, so let's start on that settler right away. I think we're doing okay. We still got 6 more turns to go. Now, I think we can, we'll get a free era score here. We're going to go over and we're going to build a mine here, and we'll get a free era score for building after a disaster. So that will get us one step closer towards securing our sorry, I totally have a brain fart. So we'll go ahead and get John the Baptist to start headed back towards Stonehenge so that we can found our religion and get the era score for that. Meanwhile, our troops can keep heading over here, and with any luck, we'll be able to clear this barbarian camp out pretty quickly. Nice. So we got our Pantheon too, so it's that's always nice to get that out of the way. It means we can finally switch out of the God King policy card whenever we get our next boost here. Now, they came out with their spearmen to attack us, so let's go ahead and give them a nice welcome here. We'll go ahead and attack with the warrior first, and then hit them with the slinger. I'm assuming this is going to have them injured enough they'll retreat back into the barbarian camp, but that'll be fine. We'll be able to finish them off next turn. Now, as far as our Pantheon goes, you know what? They're already over here. I'm going to take a look around here and see if I can come up with a decent plan for our next city, and then hopefully that'll help me pick a Pantheon. Just because with the Congo already being over here, we're gonna have loyalty issues by settling so close to them. So ideally, in a perfect world, I'd like to rush in here and grab all this territory while I can, before the other civilizations jump in and grab it. So I got some thinking to do. Anyways, it'll just be a sec here. Alright, so I did some more thinking, and I decided against going for the Goddess of the Festival Pantheon. While it would be nice to get +1 culture from the different plantation improvements here, and we do have a few of them, most of them are down here and are going to be contested anyway between us and the Congo. So I think what we'll do instead is I'm going to go ahead and choose the Pantheon here, religious settlements, where we're going to receive a free settler here. So I marked off 2 spots. We're going to go ahead and settle our next city here on the coffee. We'll get that up, and it'll allow us to trade to one, and it'll allow us to trade it to one of the civilizations really quickly for an extra boost of gold. And then we'll go ahead and use our next settler to head down here and settle on the banana tile once we have these barbarians dealt with. And that way, by settling towards the Congo, it might piss them off a little bit, but realistically, I'd rather gobble up this nice land compared to them. Like, we already grabbed their settler, so I'm sure they'll be sending another one up this way in the relatively near future, so we might as well get on top of that while we can. Not to mention the rest of this land up here, we at least have the city-states that are kind of zoning the Mongols out to the west over there, so we should be able to at least grab a few different decent cities in this territory before we lose it, and that should give us enough of a start as playing culture. We really want to get between 8 and 12 cities up and running before turn 100 if possible, and I think that this land should be more than enough to get the amount of cities that we'd like to get up. So we did get our bonus settler here. We're going to go ahead and send them down. Now, I actually, come to think of it, I'm going to send the settler to the furthest location first. And then ideally what I'll probably do is settle them both on the same turn, if possible. And that way, because the Congo are going to get pissed when we settle the city, and they're going to ask us not to settle near them. And I think we can avoid that request if we settle both cities simultaneously here, but it still might not work. Either way, it just makes more sense to head to the farthest location first, since it's 4 more turns here until our settlers coming out. So we are going to go ahead and build this mine here, and that's going to give us an extra air score. Not to mention providing a pretty sick tile for the capital to work over here. But now that we got that, we'll go ahead and cross the river next turn and head towards the tile where we'll be hopefully building the hanging gardens with any luck. Now we're gonna head in here with our slinger and finish off the spearmen. Well, almost finish off the spearmen. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna run our warrior away, so that way if the spearman decides to go crazy and attack, they're gonna attack into our slinger and we'll still get the boost towards archery either way. Considering we have 9 turns left, I'm actually getting a little bit paranoid that we're gonna cut it close and not be able to get our golden age here. So I think what I'm actually gonna do is change my mind, and we'll settle this city here first so that we can get the coffee up online right away. And that'll give us an extra boost of gold there, which we can use hopefully to get another builder in here, because I'm just thinking about it, and we're cutting it really close. So if we get a second builder, we'll actually be able to chop a forest with one of their charges, and then we can use the other charges to build mines and get the improvements that we need to get the boost towards craftsmanship anyway. So let's go ahead and switch out of this right now before I forget, so we don't waste the culture there. I probably should have switched out of it a couple turns ago, and that's my bad. It's one of the things that I've actually been working on in my own game, but it just, when you're playing and you're thinking and you're commentating all at the same time, it's just, believe it or not, it adds another dimension to it, and you basically, all the screw ups that you make normally and whatever you're working on and thinking about, you tend to show them a lot more often because you're just not completely zoned right in. But anyways, let's go ahead and get our religion founded here. It's going to give us 3 error score, I'm pretty sure, so we'll go ahead and do that. Now, before I forget, we're going to get them started on a monument so that we can get our culture up. Before I forget, let's go ahead and trade that away. I'm assuming Genghis will probably give us the best deal if he has enough money, which he does. So that's good. Let's see what exactly he'll give us for it. So let's just start working back from 200, 180, 160, 140. Ooh, not even 140, huh? Alright, so somewhere between 130 and 140. Okay, so 131 for him. Let's take a look. You never know, maybe the Congo will give us a better deal. It's not freaking likely considering our colorful history with them, but let's see if they'll do 131. No, see, yeah, they won't even give 131. So we'll go ahead and make the deal here with Genghis for 131. Alright, and just give me a second. I'm going to have to go shut my windows because it's raining outside and I don't want that to be all over the video here. So just... Alright, now that I got that taken care of, we can get back to playing here. So, we founded our religion, and I figure what better religion? Let's pick the cow symbol there, and let's call it Muism, because we're completely serious about our religious beliefs, of course. Now, I don't plan on actually putting that much of an emphasis on religion in our game. Not at the moment. I mean, religion does go hand in hand with culture pretty well, actually. So, in case I do decide to put a little bit of an effort into our religion here, I'm going to go ahead and take Jesuit education. The ability to purchase campus and theater square district buildings with faith is definitely a nice thing to have when you're trying to go for a culture victory. Now, as far as our next belief here, the cathedral would be a really nice pick for us because we are going for culture, or we would be if we were playing this the full game, I should say. And so that extra slot of religious art adds up really quickly and is definitely nice. But I think what we'll go ahead and do is take church property, because I'm assuming the cathedral will probably be there for us when we upgrade our religion, if we do that in the future. And ultimately, it's not that big of a deal which building we end up choosing. So we'll go ahead and found our religion and take our +3 era score to the bank. It gave us the boost towards theology. Now, I didn't really explain it, but the reason why we want to increase our culture right away with by going ahead and going for monuments first is because we want to get towards drama and poetry here as quickly as we can, so that we can get our theater square districts up online and start earning points towards our actual goal that we would be trying to achieve if we were playing this game regularly. So now we still have 2 turns away from irrigation. We'll go ahead and move the builder here so that we are in place to do the chop when we do get irrigation. And now that I'm thinking about it too, because we had to go ahead and we're gonna have to spend our money to get another builder here, in the capital, and we're not going to have it to buy. We're not going to have it to buy the ship there. So what we'll do is we'll settle this city on the Jade next, and that will give us another resource to trade away, and hopefully that will be enough for us to build, to buy the boat rather, and get that extra era score we need to push us over the edge. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and grab the builder here in the capital, and we'll go ahead and clear this with the slinger. Nice, so that little doo-doo means that we completed a city quest state. So actually, come to think of it, that means 2 for Cabal. So if we can manage to either, well, I guess it's not going to work out. It's 10 turns, we're still 10 turns away from Early Empire, so we won't have a governor. I was going to say if we could get Armani, that might work out, but if we, and yeah, we're only getting 1 influence per turn, so we're a long ways away from, unfortunately, getting our envoy, so we won't be able to get the era score that way. I just thought that it might work out, but unfortunately it's not in the cards. Now, in the meantime, we'll go ahead and take the promotion here with this warrior. Now, generally speaking, I tend to go for the tortoise promotion first if I'm going to be aggressive against other enemy civilizations. So the reason behind, or the logic behind that being, I think it's way better off to get the tortoise promotion first, and that way you're better defending against archers and better defending against attacks from the actual cities themselves, and that helps you survive long enough to then get the battle cry promotion, which helps you kill units faster. Now, and that being because I'm usually depend on archers more in the early game to kill units more so than my actual warriors. But seeing as how we are not going to conquer anybody, as we're hopefully going to be playing the culture part of this early, I'll be taking the battle cry, as that definitely is a nice promotion to grab when dealing with barbarians and other stuff, because hopefully our little conflict with the Congo is over there. Time will tell, I suppose. In the meantime, we'll just go ahead and move our slinger down here. We'll just kind of camp out on our future city site, and hopefully we'll still be able to go ahead and grab that. We'll tell the builder here to just relax for the meantime. Doesn't hurt us to get another mine up online over here, though. Alright, so as for the warrior, let's just head back towards the capital in case we end up running into any barb cants spawning in this area or up towards the north somewhere. It's better to have a combat unit in the vicinity if we can. We're just go ahead and tell the builder to skip a turn.
Thousands have lived without love, not one without water.
Alright, nice. So we got irrigation there, which means we can go ahead and purchase our tile here where we're going to build the hanging gardens, and we'll get started on that immediately. So it's starting off at 17 turns to completion. That's a long ways away. It was actually worked out perfectly that we finished our settler as well, so we'll go ahead and get them to head up towards the new location for our city there. Now, the reason why I am choosing this is there's some decent production here. I know that technically will be taken from the capital a little bit, but they have plenty of good tiles to choose from anyways, so it won't be too bad. Not to mention the fact that we can go ahead and take some of these tundra tiles and just overlap them with our districts in that city there. Maybe we can place a wonder or something at some point as well to help them get a decent theater square for themselves. So we're going to head straight into sailing, as we already talked about. So we got 4 more turns to go on that. So now that we are starting it, we can go ahead and chop this now. And then we'll head over and start boosting that next turn. So we'll just tell the slingers to go on automate there. So we'll go ahead and we'll build the mine now. Oh, we bumped into Germany. Nice, sure. We'd like to sample their hospitality. So, or we'll let them sample our hospitality. So I'm not really worried about it because Clearly, we didn't bump into them anywhere near our city, so I'm not really worried about an early game attack. That's generally the only time that I don't exchange information on capitals and stuff like that. And seeing as how we've already explored our land here and we're feeling pretty safe, I'm not too worried. So we do have barbarian scouts out here. Now I am just going to continue sending our settler there, and the reason being is that unless their barbarian camp has been destroyed, they won't attack your units. So that is fine. Now I'm going to go ahead and move our builder over here. We'll build a mine here and then get them to head down towards the location here, because I think we're going to need to more than this builder's 2 charges left in order to get our wonder completed in time. So hold on, let's see, how many turns would it be? I can't see because I'm zoomed in too much. 2, so it would be 3, 4 turns to get there. Okay, so you know what? I better go now in order. Yeah, screw the mine, just in case. We're cutting it so close as far as time goes, before the era ends. And we definitely need to get this in order to get our era. Now, the one good thing about we bumped into Germany there is that we don't need to purchase that boat anymore for the air score. As long as we can get this wonder up and Adam, that will give us just the right amount of air score for our golden age. Now I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping that this scout's barbarian encampment hasn't been destroyed yet, otherwise this is going to be kind of a kick in the nuts. But in the meantime, we'll use the builder's last charge here to hurry that up. Alright, so it looks like we are safe, that that the barbarian scout there belongs to that camp, so we'll be just fine for now. We're gonna head over here and we'll plop down and get ourselves the jade. So now, oh, it's a horseman camp too. Shite. Alright, so that sort of changes the plan and it sort of doesn't. Now that we don't need to buy that boat in order to get the air score, what we will do is sell our jade. I totally forgot to send this delegation, didn't I? Yeah. See, that's what I mean when it's harder than you would think to play this game and commentate at the same time, as well as like think and react properly. It tends to bring your mistakes to the surface a lot more often here. So unfortunately, as I had mentioned before, you always want to send delegations when you first meet civilizations and not get distracted, like I did, because it kind of leaves a bad taste in their mouth. Now, hopefully, will still make us a decent deal here. We'll take a look and see just what we can get. So let's start at 160. 150, nope. 140, okay, so it's somewhere between 140 and 150. 141 is his number. Alright, so that's good to know. Let's just quickly check here to see if... Oh, never mind. Genghis is a poor bastard. Alright, so we'll definitely go... Well, you never know. Might as well do... Oh, they don't even have enough. Alright, so there you go. We're good to go. We'll trade it to the Germans for 141, which is actually perfect because it only costs us 140 gold for the slinger, so that will work out nicely for us. Not to mention, making a trade will help us help improve our relations, but it worked out perfectly that we're spawning with horse barbarians there. At least we'll be able to build a slinger or buy a slinger in our new city up there and help it. In the meantime, we are going to keep getting our warrior headed up there as quickly as we can so that we'll be able to neutralize them in the near future with any luck. Alright, so we did just finish sailing, which is nice. I think what we'll do is go into writing next so that we can ideally get some campuses online. There's definitely a nice spot over here where we can get some era score for building a splendid campus. In case you don't... Oh, actually, you know what? It's way better to just build it here. What am I talking about? It's better to build this here. This should be a +5 campus. It'll get plus... Or no, +4 campus. What am I talking about? Yeah, it's not next to 3 mountains. Yeah, so they'll get +1 from that mountain, +1 from that mountain, and then +2 from the geothermal fissure, and it'll be safe. So it's much better to not choose that, so it won't be constantly getting damaged from the volcanoes there. So we'll go ahead and get that online in the next little bit here, which will be +3 era score. And then, not to mention, we'll get another 3 air score for getting these theater squares up online. Now, I normally wrap these kind of early game tutorials for beginners up at the turn 50, but I'm actually enjoying myself, so I think what I'm going to do is just end up playing this out until the medieval age, just because I want to see exactly how many wonders I can build between now and then, just for shits and giggles. So that's what we'll go ahead and play until we get to that age and we finish the boost we get where our builders can help us build stuff. Alright, so in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and start with... Actually, I'm going to start with a granary in this city just because we want to get it up and running as quickly as we can, and it has those shitty tundra tiles to deal with, so I want it to get built up as quickly as possible so we can actually get some decent production going. Speaking of decent production, let's get our builder over here and start boosting the production to this. So I think we should be just fine. We still have 3 turns. Yeah. And so I don't need to waste any more of his charges then. There's only 2 turns until that finishes. So God willing, as long as we don't get sniped by an enemy AI, then we'll get that in time and we'll hit our golden age. So what I'm going to do is, considering we're getting a golden age, I was saving the building a quarry because it gives you the tech boost. And normally I save those in case you don't get golden ages. I pick the dedication that gives you +1 air score for every science boost you get. But seeing as how we don't need that, I'm going to go ahead and build the quarry there. Now, I know we will eventually be salvaging this so that we can get a theater square, but I think in the meantime, the short-term boost of production is definitely going to be worthwhile to do that. So we'll head over there for next turn. Alright, so he's chirping us because we have our barbarians over there, but unfortunately it just is what it is for now. We are on our way to deal with it. And again, while it would be nice to step out and attack the scout there, I'm definitely not going anywhere while there is horsemen on the loose. Alright, so Genghis isn't happy with us because we have a small amount of cavalry. We got a nice little eruption here, so our mine did get damaged, which is just fine.
Story is by stairs, and at their side are water engines, by means of which persons, appointed expressly for the purpose, are continually employed in raising water from the Euphrates into the garden.
Nice, so we built ourselves some pretty hanging gardens there. Alright, so we've secured our golden age, which is just perfect. Now we'll go ahead and build the quarry here. He still does have 1 charge left, so we'll head up and repair that, and then after that we'll figure out where exactly we should best use that 1 last charge. I'll probably end up just doing it right there, to be completely honest, as I believe every time the volcano erupts, I'm not 100% sure on this, so don't quote me, but I think every different eruption you can get +1 air score for rebuilding your shit. I'm not 100% sure though, so time will tell. I haven't settled close to too many volcanoes to put that into practice yet. Alright, so we finished the hanging gardens here, so I think what we are going to do is So I think what we're going to do is start working on a settler. We'll have early empires, and we can slot in the colonization card to give the boost towards our settlers. But I definitely want to settle this city as quickly as we can before the Congo screw that up for us. We actually might be able to even sneak another city in one of these two tiles, depending on how things go, and just make an aqueduct city, because definitely would have a nice campus here too with the geothermal fissure on the mountain. So we'll go ahead and take a look over there. Actually, we might as well take a look over there now and head over with our slinger to see what's up. Oh, our scout is coming back too. Speaking of which, let's turn him off of automated exploration and get him to head down here. Alright. So we're getting closer with our warrior there. Hopefully, between the warrior and our slinger, we'll have enough to deal with the barbarian horsemen. Cross your fingers, because we might need the luck.
And you can foresee the future too.
Alright, so now we are going to finally get rid of God King. And we are going to slot in colonization to give the boost towards that. And then we are definitely keeping in discipline now that we've got these barbarian horsemen to deal with. So I think I will just skip the turn with the warrior. That being, I don't want to attack into the scout, and I'm hoping it moves away so that I can move on to that hill tile with any luck. So as far as choosing our dedication goes, I think in this case, so we have the choices to go with free inquiry, and Eureka's provide an additional 10% of technology costs, commercial hub and harbor districts, gold adjacency provides science as well. So that would be nice, but we're quite a ways off from getting any harbors or commercial hubs up. So by the time this comes in handy for us, we're really not going to have that much of the age left to actually enjoy it. So we will go and choose pen, brush, and voice here. Inspirations provide an additional 10% of civics cost, which will help us get to drama and poetry faster, so we can get our theater squares up and running. And then each city receives +1 culture for each specialty district, so that will add up fairly quickly as well. Now, monumentality is definitely usually the most powerful choice here. However, we don't have any faith, and we don't really have any faith generation. So, like, if you look at it, I guess you can't see it because it's probably grayed out too much on the screen, but we have 41.3 faith at the moment, and we're earning 2 per turn. So we're not going to be able to get much use out of monumentality at all. So this time it's going to be a hard pass. And then Exodus of the Evangelist, we don't have our religion set up, and we're not going to have it set up anytime soon, so it just really doesn't do anything for us. So pen, brush, and voice is definitely the true choice that we're going to go ahead and take here for our dedication. Alright, so with that being said, we definitely want to go ahead and work towards drama and poetry, seeing as how as soon as this builder here ends up improving another tile, then we will get the boost towards craftsmanship and do it that way. So as far as governors go, I'm really leaning towards Pingala in this, just because the boost towards culture would be nice, and it'd allow us to get our theater square districts up as quickly as we can, which is definitely a good thing. Normally I would say that Magnus is a good choice as well to help with chops and whatnot. However, considering that we are China, we don't really need to chop as much as other civilizations, at least in these first 2 eras. So I think that that's the route we're going to go ahead and choose, and we'll go ahead and take Pingala, and we'll put him into the capital as 3 and 14 and 3 and 9, and the population's going to go down. Never mind, we'll go ahead and put him into however the hell, Guangzhou or Guangzhou. We'll go ahead and put him in that city there, seeing as how our population is going to suffer once we build that settler. Alright, so let's take a look over here and see what's in that land. So they're willing to trade us for open borders and pay us a little bit. Sure, we will gladly take that. And okay, and it looks like we have got the Mongols are friendly with us right now, so we definitely want to take advantage of that, and let's declare friendship with them. So in case you don't know, that means that they can't actually declare war on us, and vice versa. We can't declare war on them either, as if we'd want to with our army the way it is. But it basically gives you 30 turns of protection where they cannot declare war on you whatsoever. So that means that realistically right now, all we have to worry about is an attack from the Congo. And speaking of which, I doubt it, but let's see if they'll take a delegation. And yeah, unfortunately it's just not in the cards, but it's not the end of the world. I don't blame them for being a little bit pissy with us after we stole their settler. Alright, so we've gotten writing now, so we're definitely going to want to get these campuses up online fairly soon. And I think it makes sense for us just to go towards archery first in order to get our archers, literally just for a defense in case Congo does decide to get pissy with us, and to help us deal with the barbarians up there in case we can't handle the horsemen with between our warrior and the slinger. And then after that, I think we'll definitely head towards masonry so that we can harvest the stone that's by our capital, and then just head towards engineering in order to get the Machu Picchu up and running as soon as we can. Okay, so they finished a builder here in the capital, which is nice. Let's head over and get these fishes improved to start with. And that gives us our bonus towards craftsmanship. And we're still good with everything that we have slotted in for now. Meanwhile, let's repair this. Let's repair this mine finally with the builder over here. And they can start on their monument in that city. Alright, so we've finally uncovered the fog. Now, there is actually a location here where we can go ahead and place a city in. We will obviously have to get an aqueduct going for some fresh water, but that's not really the end of the world. It's always good to cram as many cities in the as you can in the territory here. We'll definitely go ahead and take this one first, though, as it's the better city and it'll develop faster. And we'll also be getting our campus up online over here. Now, we definitely have to go ahead and get bronze working too, so that's another thing to consider. So speaking of that, you know what? Instead of going towards animal husbandry, I'm feeling pretty safe right now with the space between us and the Congo that I think we will go towards bronze working first, then archery and masonry. Now, hopefully, we'll be able to kill ourselves some barbarians here quickly. Again, we're just going to fortify and allow them to attack. Okay, so he's sending us a delegation. Yes. Alright, so it appears there's somebody up north there fighting the barbarian horsemen. So that's definitely a good thing. We'll take it for now. But in the meantime, we're definitely going to just stay fortified where we are in the capital. I think next turn what I will end up doing, though, is buy another slinger in the capital here. Once we pass that 140 gold threshold, because we definitely could use the help getting rid of these barbarians here. Now, we have open borders with the Congo, so let's go ahead and put this guy on automated exploration and see what they have going on in their territory. And they screwed up our plan. Unfortunately, we're shit out of luck. We can't build that city anymore, and that's kind of the risk that we took in order to secure getting the golden age there. So not really much we can do at this point. Now we will consider still settling this city, but I'd most likely prioritize other ones with fresh water as actually, you know what, that actually isn't a bad city considering it has 3 good tiles to work with to begin with, and we are getting pretty close to where we can build them an aqueduct. So considering the cities in here aren't going to have a whole lot of production right off the hop, that I think that's probably what we will do. Let's take a quick look here. We'll place a city here because we're basically just going to try and pack as many cities as we possibly can into our territory here. If we don't get enough cities, ideally you want a minimum of 8 in order to play a culture game, so we have 4 going automatically. Unfortunately, we can't squeeze any in here unless possibly that tile might, or no, that's not within 4. So yeah, that'll be red as well once we discover it. 1, 2, 3. It would be a completely shitty city, but we might be able to settle there. All right, so I took some time and I quickly went ahead and planned some city locations for us here. It's not the greatest, but it does give us 5 more cities, which would give us a total of 9. And ideally, you want to hit at least 8, as I mentioned. At least I think I mentioned it earlier. You want to get at least 8 to 12 cities in your first 100 turns, especially as a culture game. You want a minimum of 8 in order to play, and I think this should give us a decent start. Now, we're definitely going to have to prioritize settling here as much as we can in the next little bit, because we want to forward settle the Mongols as quickly as we can. So this is right here is going to be the city that I prioritize the most, even though it unfortunately isn't going to be the best of cities to start with. It's basically just to stake our claim to the land, and we'll go from there. But yeah, we'll definitely want to start placing more of an importance on getting our settlers up as quickly as we can here in order to take that land before we lose out and don't have any land to make any cities. So we're going to go ahead and just stay fortified with our warrior here, and we are still waiting until next turn to buy that slinger. In the meantime, we'll just go ahead and park this guy on the hills over there so we can keep an eye and see in case there's any Congo troops coming towards us. In the meantime, we'll get this up online when we improve this tile, if we do get that extra era score or not. So let's pay attention. We're on 25 now. Meanwhile, we're going to head over here, and what we'll probably do is chop. Oh, Jesus. This is not going to be fun to deal with. I wonder how long that barbarian camp has been there. It must have been there for quite a while, considering I remember Congo chirping us about, yeah, and fuck bronze working. Yeah, we need to worry about surviving. So let's go straight towards archery now. We can worry about getting era score from that campus at another time. But yeah, I must have been there for a while because I remember them chirping us, and holy crap, is that ever a lot of units. Now, I think we will still take the shot with the warrior. We're purchasing, we're going to go ahead and purchase a slinger here. I think we will take one shot from the horse archer here, and that'll be fine because I want the barbarian horseman to kill itself. I don't want it to survive. Now, in the meantime, yeah, we're not moving out. In the meantime, we'll attack their horsemen over there with our slinger. Alright, so let's go ahead and build a mine here and see if we get the air score or not. Alright. Okay, so we got the boost towards apprenticeship, and no, we didn't get the air score, so I guess it's only the first time that you do it. at least in each particular city. So now we finished our monument in this city, which is great. Let's get them started on actually, let's get them started on a trader for now. It'd be nice to get that going. Plus, the extra gold income would definitely help us so that we can upgrade our slingers once we do end up getting archery. Now, I'm not sure why their horse archer didn't attack us. That's a little bit weird, but I guess we'll take it. I'm not going to complain. So in the meantime, I will leave the warrior there and just fortified. We'll see if they do start taking shots, but in the meantime, this horseman should come and engage us fairly quickly. Now, I'm not getting too worried about the warriors being around there. I mean, it is their territory after all, and we still do have a nice little buffer between us until we go ahead and settle that city later if we end up doing that. So I think here what we're going to go ahead and do... Oh yeah, never mind, we haven't got the technology of bronze working yet. So scratch that. I was going to say we'll clear that and build a mine, but unfortunately it's not in the cards. Now, so I guess we still will have an extra charge. We might as well go ahead and build... Actually, screw the farm. We might as well go ahead and build a campus here. It'll be a +3 campus, which will get us that air score that we were after. Not to mention, it's just good to get your districts locked in as soon as you can. Now, unfortunately, we won't be able to do that here on this location. However, we might be able to do it there. But ideally, I want to avoid the volcanoes if we can. Like, even building this one here is going to be a pain in the ass once this volcano becomes active. So in the meantime, we'll just send the builder back here and have them wait. We do only have 4 turns until we get drama and poetry, which is nice. So in fact, I actually might get them to start work on that theater square. And we'll still have to wait for these other 2 here until we can get the masonry technology. Okay, so they haven't attacked us yet. I'm just gonna say screw it, and I'm gonna attack their scout once just to see if that'll trigger the horsemen into being a little bit more aggressive. In the meantime, we'll skip turn with the slinger. All right, so it did the trick. They definitely took the bait here. Now what we're going to do is retreat back and hopefully lure them into the point where we can attack them with our slinger. And speaking of which, we're going to attack with this slinger over here. And in the meantime, we'll just skip the turn with that slinger again. All right, so worked out well. They did move towards us there. Okay, so let's go ahead here and we'll attack them with the slinger. Now, I think we will take 1 shot from them with the warrior where we are. I think we should be okay to kill them next turn then between the warrior and the slinger. And if not, and it really does damage to our warrior, we can always run away and hide over here. I think that should... Well, I guess that wouldn't work because it's a horse archer. I keep thinking it's a regular horseman. You know what? So then I think what I will do is actually attack... Oh, there you go. And we ended up killing them. So that is definitely... definitely was the right call after all. Now, we finished our slinger here in the capital. It's going to be a little bit tricky with all those frickin' barbarians out there, but we're still going to try and do it. Albeit just a little bit carefully, or a little bit more carefully than we normally would. So, we'll still leave the slinger in the city. Hopefully they come forward with this horseman, and then we can kind of double team it. In that case, I'd probably retreat the horseman across, or the warrior across the river again. In the meantime, seeing as how it's still going to be quite a bit until we can get our theater square up online, I think I am just going to go ahead and place a campus down here. But I'm not going to go ahead and start it yet. I'm going to get one more slinger out so that we can take advantage of the production bonus. In case you don't know, slingers only cost 35 production in order to make them, and archers cost 60 production, so it's almost half the price of an archer, and then you only have to pay 60 gold to upgrade your slinger to an archer. So it's a lot more effective and for you to build the slinger and then upgrade to the archer rather than just spend the time and sending all your production into that. Now, I just happened to look up and notice that for whatever reason the Germans are happy with us, so we are definitely going to take advantage of this, and we're going to declare a friendship right away. And it's just one because they're happy with us because they're at war with the Congo. So since we were enemies, I guess that makes them friends with us now. Or should I say it makes them more friendlier towards us because we have a common enemy. But whatever the reason, I'll take it and wish them the best in their fight with the Congo. That just gives us more time to kind of grab the land that we want to without having to worry about the Congo. Now, so we are just going to tell this builder to go to sleep until we end up getting the bronze working technology. Again, we'll take another shot with our slinger here. Managed to almost kill them. Unfortunately, not quite enough, and this is definitely going to be not safe. So what we'll do is we're going to head down and circle around the volcanoes in order to avoid the barbarians. Now, we are definitely going to back up here, and we'll move over with the slinger to allow the warrior to come in and rest up in our city. And meanwhile, we're going to just go ahead and promote this archer here, and we're going to go ahead and grab the garrison. And the reason behind this being that I'm not planning on being aggressive whatsoever. So the +5 range strength for sland units is great. However, the +10 combat strength for being in a garrison is definitely going to be a lot more powerful, especially in 2 turns. Once we can get archery upgraded, that will be the first slinger that we do upgrade. So we've gotten drama and poetry here, which is nice. I totally forgot to go towards... the reason we went into drama and poetry was to avoid upgrading... Hold on, where? The reason we went into drama and poetry was to avoid upgrading craftsmanship at the time and get the boost out of it. However, I got distracted there and left it in. I should have, when we got craftsmanship, I should have pivoted out of it and head towards political philosophy. It's, generally speaking, best for you to go towards your tier 2 government as quickly as you possibly can. I mean, it's not the end of the world in our case that we grab drama and poetry here, as we can get some nice theater squares up. However, it would have been more efficient to do it the other way. Again, it's a lot harder to play perfect when... oops, hold on, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, they finished the slinger. Okay, so what I will do now is we're going to go ahead and move this slinger out there. And we'll move this slinger... Actually, you know what? That archer's a good ways away. We'll move the warrior out to heal up back there, and that way we can still take a shot at the horseman this turn with the slinger. Alright, so we've completed the slinger. Now let's go ahead and get back to work on that campus there. Meanwhile, we'll keep headed down to skirt the volcanoes here with our settler. I'm just praying to Christ that they don't blow up while our settler is next to them and we lose the unit. In the meantime, there's nothing for our slinger to do here until we get archery, which was perfect timing. We just crossed the 60 gold threshold, so guess who our first archer is going to be. So now let's go ahead and take a quick look here. I don't think that our luxury units are available yet, but let's get some open borders and some money from them while we're at it, and do the same thing with the Germans. And you always want to get the AI to pay extra for settling, or not for settling, for getting open borders with them, and it almost always works unless they really hate you. So now that we have got archery, let's go ahead and get bronze working as quickly as we can here. It's nice that we've killed the barbarians and got the bonus for it. Let's go ahead and finish off this horseman here. I think we should be able to do that between our two slingers there. The warrior here is just going to stay and heal up. So unfortunately, they moved up with their warrior, so there's not really much we can do at that point. However, I think we will start moving up with our slinger and give him a little bit of a chance to back out. But ideally, I guess it's probably best for us to occupy that spot and fortify there and just wait for things. Not to mention, we might be able to draw this horse archer down and engage them. Alright, so I'm going to move across the river. Now, we are definitely going to take a shot from this horse archer, but considering it's so injured, I don't think it will be able to one-shot us, and we should be able to finish them off with our slinger the next turn. Just in case they don't engage us and try to head up this way, we'll try and head them off with that other slinger, which gives us room for the warrior to head into the city here to get the extra healing from being inside there. So we'll go ahead and skip the turn with the slinger, and our archer apparently doesn't have any targets to hit at the moment. Let's skip one more turn before we go out looking for them. I want us to get in closer with our troops, and there we go. It worked out after all that. Now we have plenty of targets to shoot at. So I think what we're going to do here is, I'm not really worried about the spearmen. It's definitely the less scary of the unit, so we're going to start taking shots at the horse archer there. Now, between the +10 combat strength for us being garrisoned and the +5 combat strength for us having discipline in, that is one badass archer. You can see he's shooting at 40 strength, so yeah, it is definitely a powerful tool for us to get rid of it. Now, we survived the attack from the archer here, so let's go ahead and take that out while we have time, which frees us up a chance to move out with our settler. Alright, so now that we've finished bronze working, let's get masonry so that we can harvest that stone when and if we are ready and able to do that, and then head towards engineering like we talked about in order to get the Machu Picchu as quickly as we can. So I think we'll just start heading towards the north with our slingers here. They're not amazing units, but any unit we have that can help out this archer is great. We'll move forward with them and start attacking the spearmen. In the meantime, skip that slinger's turn there. And actually, this slinger can move forward. So we'll go ahead and do that. And now we'll start moving forward with our settler. Oops, that was the wrong tile that I sent them to. This is the city that we want to settle, is over there. Alright, so we finished a trader. I think what we'll do is go ahead and send it to the Congo. +6 gold and +1 science. Sounds pretty good to me. And hopefully that'll improve our relationship with them a little bit, and maybe allow them to forget the fact that we declared war on them to steal their settler. Alright, so I think here we're going to go ahead and get a builder next. It just makes sense for us to do so that we can chop this location and get their campus down, not to mention harvesting the stone here so we can get the respective theater squares for the capital and this city up online as well. Alright, so now that we do have bronze working, before I forget, we can wake up this builder, and we'll go ahead and clear this out in order to build a mine. And we'll just leave that slinger there. We can upgrade another one of our troops here. We're not in friendly territory with that slinger, so we might as well go ahead and do this one, but we should be able to move there before we do it, so we're one step closer. I just want more troops around here in case they spawn. I was just gonna say in case they spawn more troops, but I'm just gonna actually keep moving the slinger forward before I choose to upgrade them. Now, I think we will go ahead and start attacking the horsemen. Will be a lot more powerful once we run back into the city. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get that mine here with that builder and use his last charge. So, unfortunately, they've spawned more horsemen, so we are going to lick our wounds and retreat. I think this settler's basically seen better days. I don't think he'll be able to get out with his life, but it doesn't hurt to try. In the meantime, we'll upgrade that slinger to an archer, and it looks like our warriors healed up, so that'll be just fine. We'll take another shot with our archer now that they're in the city. They'll be able to attack a lot more powerfully. Now, because they are injured, they do lose 5 combat strength, which kind of sucks, but it's still better to take a shot, I think, at that point than not. Oh, it looks like this guy had one more charge after all. I was confused, so let's head up here towards that iron mine. Okay, so rest in peace to the scout there. We're going to move forward with our warrior to soak, or not the scout, the slinger, my bad. We're going to move forward to soak up the damage from their attacks, and we're going to attack with our archer there. In the meantime, let's finish off this horseman with that archer. And we've finally finished our campus, which is great. Let's go ahead and start work on a builder right away. Now, we want to switch policies while we're here. We're definitely leaving discipline in while we deal with those barbarians, but we'll get rid of colonization and go into Ilkham, seeing as how we're building builders in a couple different cities at the moment. That would be nice, and then we'll probably switch out of it once we get to political philosophy and just go with urban planning, which gives us the +1, gives us +1 production in all cities. That, I think that'll be the better choice if we're not working on builders in multiple cities. Alright, so they finished the granary finally in our city up here, so I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and lay down a theater square for now. We're not...
Filled a water bag from my people.
Oh, we found another wonder. So that's a little bit more air square, but we're not going to actually build the theater square right now. We're just going to lay it down, and we're going to start work on a builder up here in the north as well. Okay, so we got the +3 air score for building the campus down here, which is nice. Now that that's done, we'll go ahead and start work on another builder. Unfortunately for us, the iron spawned there, so we'll have to move our planned theater square up one spot. It unfortunately won't be +6 anymore, but it still will be +5, which, I mean, realistically is nothing to scoff at anyways as far as theater squares go. So we'll go ahead and do that there. Alright, so unfortunately for us, they didn't take our bait and attack our warrior on the hill, which is fine. We'll attack them there and should finish them off with that archer. And then this one can get started on that horseman over there. Jesus. Alright, so... oh... Gotta love barbarian camps, right? Okay, so we'll go ahead and attack from the city. We're gonna heal our warrior one turn, and then we'll attack with that archer as well. And we'll go ahead and use his last charge to get a mine there. Ouch. Fuck. Alright, and they attack the archer again, so we're just gonna definitely back up here. And we should be able to finish that one off, which should, if we're lucky, allow this horseman to attack the warrior next turn. We finished our builder here in the capital. We might as well go ahead and get started on a library for now. But in the meantime, what we're gonna do is head down to here, and we're gonna harvest that stone so that they can place their theater square. Meanwhile, we've managed to get here, and the Mongols haven't settled another city yet, so we're going to take advantage of that and plop the city down. Now, speaking of plopping down, I think what we'll do is go ahead and get their theater square laid down first. We'll go ahead and do that there. Now, the reason I'm choosing it there is it gives us 2 potential spots in order to build wonders and whatnot. I don't want to overwrite hills since the production over here is so shitty to begin with. In the meantime, we have gotten a governor promotion there, so we'll go ahead and we're going to take connoisseur next in order to increase our culture as quickly as we can. Now, let's see. Okay, so god damn. Gotta love those barbarians. Jesus. Okay, screw this. We're gonna work on an archer because we definitely need all the help we can get. Now, we're gonna retreat back into the city and take the promotion for the archer. Now, we'll take garrison again here. We're gonna retreat back with our warrior. In the meantime, we'll take another shot with this archer in the safety of our city there. Yeah, unfortunately, there wasn't much that we could do to avoid that. Now, we have finally got political philosophy, so we're going to go ahead and change out of our government here. We're going to change governments, and I think temporarily for now, we're going to take oligarchy just in order to get the experience. We're going to switch into a Goj, put that into the wildcard policy as well, in order to help us get some production here as quickly as we can. We're going to switch out of Ilkum like we talked about and put in urban planning in order to get +1 production in all cities. And then we'll choose charismatic leader here as well, just to start gaining influence faster towards the different city-states. So we'll go ahead and put that in. This is going to allow us to build our units a little bit faster, which will definitely come in handy. And speaking of units, I think I totally forgot about the slinger, to be completely honest. So what we'll do is get them to start heading up north here. Now, this archer, we're going to go ahead and take a shot at that horseman, and then we should be able to finish it off with that one. Now, the reason I chose that government, normally I would usually take either usually take either autocracy or classical republic, as they're generally speaking the better options unless you're going straight into a war. However, I think us getting that plus 20% unit experience is going to allow us to get promotions on these archers as quickly as can be, and then that will allow us to kill these damn barbarians sooner. Not to mention, we'll be able to have +4 combat strength on our warriors whenever we end up getting one. So I think that's what we're going to go ahead and do, is start getting a warrior down here in this city. It's just a shame that we're having to waste all this production and instead of doing useful things with it, but it is what it is. Now, seeing as how this city here is only 1 turn away from becoming 4 population, we're going to go ahead and chop that tile so we can place the campus, and then we'll head over here and harvest that stone in order to place their theater square shortly thereafter. So we will go ahead here and we're going to harvest the stone. Okay, and unfortunately it belonged to them, so we're going to definitely come over here and change that now. We're going to manage citizens and swap the tile, and we'll get them to place down their theater square. If I had caught it, what I would have done is switch this before harvesting the stone, because then we would have gotten that archer out that much quicker in the capital, but that was definitely a screw up on my part. So we're going to go ahead and place it down there to lock the price in, because in case you didn't know, the price of your districts goes up with all the different as you get farther in the ages, as well as every different technology and civic that you get researched, it also increases the price. So once you lock in that the building by placing it down like we just did with that district there, it's guaranteed to be that price whenever we do get around to building it. So we're just going to start building that archer. Now, as far as civics go, it'd be nice to be able to slot in the inspiration policy card to start helping us to get some great scientist points. So I think we'll head to mysticism first before deciding where to go next, and I think we probably will head towards recorded history, so might as well go ahead and put that in now. Now, the reason I am headed towards the recorded history there is in order, for one, to get the governor title right away, but then also it allows us to start building the Great Library, which would be nice for us to get as well. Not to mention, it also unlocks the Natural Philosophy economic card. Which will help us increase our science, which is definitely never a bad thing, especially considering the plus 100% theater square adjacency card isn't until way down the line here. It's all the way down here in guilds, I think, or not guilds, medieval fairs. Yeah, so we won't be able to boost our theater squares for quite a while, so we might as well boost our campus adjacencies and take advantage of that as soon as we can. Alright, so we've completed the warrior here, so we'll start headed towards the north and the barbarians with them. And now that that's done, oops. And now that that's done, next turn we'll start on the campus once we clear that. So it doesn't hurt to put some turns into a granary and to help them grow quicker. Okay, so here we go. We'll go ahead and do this before we forget. Why can't I chop that? We did get bronze working, did we not? Yeah, because I already chopped that thing and made a fucking mine. Oh, it's out of my territory. Alright. Wow, I'm special. It's not in our territory, so we have to go ahead and buy the tile before we can chop it. I am so special sometimes. Alright, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and chop that now. And then we'll go ahead and place our campus district to lock in the price. It's +5 campus. It'll definitely be a nice treat for us there. But we're going to switch back to the granary right away. And then what we're going to do is use this builder to head over here, and we'll harvest that stone, and that will help us finish the granary, and then we'll decide to put the production to better use after the fact. So let's head over here with the builder and improve that tile. In the meantime, the warrior can just keep headed towards the north here. We'll take shots at the horsemen while we can. Jesus.
I like to say I practice militant mysticism. I'm absolutely sure of...
Okay, so it's nice that we ended up getting the extra envoy too from that. We can go ahead and send one now if we wanted. However, it wouldn't allow us to take suzerainship, so there's not really any point, especially considering when you do send delegations, or sorry, when you do send envoys to them, it shows your interest in that city-state to other civilizations, and they tend to then target them more often. But I think what we will do is go ahead and send the envoy to Bandar Brunei here, not because of the suzerainship, but just to get the +4 gold coming in. I think we need all the gold we can get at this point so that we can get our troops upgraded as quickly as we can here. So speaking of which, let's go ahead and upgrade that archer while we're at it. And then in the meantime, what we do want to do is we want to step out with the archer that doesn't have the promotion. We'll attack with that one, and then should be able to finish them off with that archer there. And I think we'll go ahead and take advantage of our policy card that we have there and start work on a builder here. In the meantime, that should be fine. Now, yeah, we'll head over there with that builder, and then now we'll go ahead and harvest the stone here. After we have to remove the improvement first, and I think what we'll do is go ahead and this one we don't have a choice on, unfortunately, because it is one tile away from the city, so you can't swap it like we did with that tile there, or would have been able to do. So it kind of makes our decision for us. In the meantime here, we are just going to keep attacking these units. We want to attack the archers with priority, since they are by far the more dangerous units of the mix. We're gonna let that archer heal up, and with this one we'll take a shot at the horseman. Now, I think we're gonna play musical chairs here a little bit. What I'm gonna do is get out of the way, and we're gonna retreat back across the river with this warrior, and hopefully it draws the horse archer in, and we can start taking shots at them from either this archer here or that one. Okay, so we finished the builder in the city down here, which is nice. I think what we want to do is, it's going to be a while until we can buy that tile, so I think what we'll do is go ahead and start work. I think, sorry, I got distracted by the oracle there. We don't really have a great spot for it at the moment. We'd have to override that mine, which is basically their only source of decent production at this point, other than that one. But I think what we'll go ahead and do is actually start on a galley, just because it's going to give us 2 free era score. In a perfect world, I would like to get back to a normal age if possible and avoid a dark age, but it'll also allow us to help explore the map a little bit more and find people so that we can trade with them in the future. Because in case you don't know, when you're playing a culture game, you want to basically find everybody as quickly as you can, and then you want to be able to start trade routes with them all as quickly as you can, and that helps you increase your tourism points and helps you win the game faster. Okay, so we've removed the improvement here, so we're going to go ahead and harvest it now. It'll help them finish their granary, and now what we're going to do though is go ahead and we'll throw that production into a theater square, and we'll place it down there. So this guy has 2 more charges left. That builder's already headed up towards there, so there's not really a whole lot for him to do over here. So I think what we'll do is go ahead and head over here. We'll build a mine there, and then head up towards the north to probably repair that mine if we've managed to clear out the barbarians by then. God willing, right? This builder doesn't really have much to do at this point. What we'll do is just wait for Mongolia to be so kind as to move. Or actually, come to think of it, alright, so another eruption there. But what I was just going to say is, come to think of it, since we do have this builder here anyways, what we'll do is we'll move them there, and we'll get this builder to head up north sooner rather than later, and we'll get him to head over there to build a mine first. In the meantime, we've gotten our warrior in the capital here. We're going to move out and move forward a little bit. We'll move forward there, and we're gonna heal the archer up again rather than take a shot. And that's because I want to get that archer up to full health as quickly as we can, so that it can take full powered shots once it moves out of the city. And now, same thing with this archer. There's nobody for them to hit at the moment, so we'll tell them to heal for a turn. And here in the capital, we want to get them to start working on their theater square now that they've gone ahead and... Or actually, you know what? We have that policy in at the moment anyway, so let's go ahead and get another archer quickly before we lose the plus 50% production from the policy card that we slotted in. Okay, so we'll just skip turn with this builder, waiting for Mongolia to move, if we're lucky. Meanwhile, over here, we're going to go ahead and build a mine. Generally speaking, I like production, so whenever I'm on these tiles, I generally build mines instead of houses. Alright, so rest in peace, Mr. Scout. Looks like the Mongols and us are both dealing with a nasty flood there. Shit, that was a nasty flood. And we want them to actually start work on a builder rather than that theater square, now that the price is locked in anyway. So the Mongolians were finally nice enough to move, so we'll head over there with our builder. Unfortunately, that was the end of Mr. Scout over there. At least he did a half-decent job. We know that there's at least just the three... It looks like there's just the 3 civilizations on our continent for now, which is good. So we'll go ahead here, and we're going to attack into the horse archer there. We're going to take a shot with our archer from the city with their plus 10 combat strength there. And I think what we'll do is just go ahead and fortify here and let the horse attack into us. Meanwhile, up here, we'll go ahead and attack them and finish them off with that archer there. And start headed towards north with the rest of our army. Now this should be more than enough, God willing, that we can finally take them out and be done with the barbarian threat. Alright, so we have 2 more builds left to go with this guy. I think what we'll do is move up here. It's going to be a little bit before we can buy that tile, but we are interested in purchasing it, so it's 115 for that one. Considering we're only 1 turn away from this, I definitely think that we're better served purchasing this tile for 75 bucks so we can get started on Machu Picchu right away. So with that being said, we will actually send this guy over here so that he can help speed up Machu Picchu. Okay, so huge ass eruption there. We've got engineering, which is great.
It ain't history. is the version of past events.
And recorded history as well, which is nice. So we're going to go ahead and switch out of a Gauge now. Hopefully we've produced enough units that we can get the barbarians under control. But I think what we will do is actually slot in conscription for now, in order to help us pay for these units that we have until we get them under control, and then we'll reevaluate the situation once we've dealt with these barbarians and kind of go from there. Okay, so speaking of which, we have just the right amount of gold, so we're going to go ahead and purchase that tile now. It went up to 80 gold, so unfortunately we'll have to wait till next turn. However, it's not the end of the world. Now we're going to keep heading up north with our troops here. And we'll take an attack at the... Actually, you know what? Might as well attack the horsemen to make sure that they don't manage to one-hit our city. I was going to say we'll attack the horse archer, since, as we already mentioned, they're the more dangerous of the units, but that's the thought process there. Now that we've gotten engineering, I think we're going to go ahead and head towards currency so that we can get some commercial hubs up at some point in the near future. I mean, realistically, we're not going to have them up anytime soon, but the option would be nice. Now, as far as where we're going next, I think we just kind of want to make our way towards medieval affairs as quickly as we can in order to get the boost. In order to get the policy card that boosts 100% theater square district adjacency bonus. So we've gotten another governor title. I think what we'll do here is go ahead and get Amani, and let's take a look at the city-states. The reason I'm choosing her is because I want to get a suzerainship of somebody. So we'll go ahead and send her to Kabul for now. That'll give suzerainship to us once she settles in there. And then what we'll do is we'll save our envoy points, and we'll hopefully get 2 of them in the near future and use them on Bandar Brunei and take control of them. We still have quite a ways to go before we get to a normal age. Unfortunately, I don't think we are going to secure one. I think we're going to be headed into a dark age. But we can do what we can in the meantime to do our best to see that we can. Okay, so we're building a mine here with this builder. We'll skip the turn with the archer there. Sure. Okay, so clearly you can see that I've had disaster intensity set to 3 on this one. Alright, so we can't attack the horse archer from here because we can't see them. However, that archer can, so we'll go ahead and take the shot now. So what we'll do is we'll move over with that warrior and hopefully draw out the attack from them next turn. With any luck, they won't attack our archer here, and that allows us to keep moving forward with our troops. And I am going to actually spend this turn to heal this archer up to full health. As you can see, I guess it wouldn't show it, would it? Oh yeah. See, if I highlight the barbarian there, that it shows -5 advantage. Oh, never mind. He's healed up enough that he doesn't take damage. Okay, I guess it's only when they're in yellow or more. I thought it was just as soon as they were injured. But anyways, what I was trying to show you there is once your units are injured, like say this one here, it's in the yellow, so you lose combat strength because it's damaged. Alright, so we finished the archer there in the capital. I think what we're gonna do now, I think we'll go ahead and scoop up the oracle, and we'll build it on this hill over here so that it'll increase the adjacency bonus of that theater square once we end up getting it. So that will be one badass theater square there. In the meantime here, now we finally do have enough gold, so let's go ahead and purchase this tile here. and we'll get the city started on Machu Picchu. Oh, did somebody already build it? Ah, fuck. Alright, well, we tried. Somebody already built it. I wish I would have noticed that before spending the 80 gold to buy a frickin' mountain, but... oh well. It would have been a nice wonder for us to have, but... The enemy civilizations prioritize it for good reason, obviously, as well. Alright, so... we finally finished a builder up here in this northern city. I think we do have enough... we do have the barbarians under enough control at the moment right now, so I think we'll head over here and get a pasture set up, and then followed by a mine and some quarry on that stone. Now, we are building the oracle here, so we are definitely going to speed that along with this builder. And the same thing here with this one. We'll send him up there to finish his charges as well. Especially now that we can't get the Machu Picchu. At least this theater square will have +4 adjacency bonus, which is pretty decent anyway. Alright, so now up here we're going to go ahead and start work on our theater square again. And our envoy, we talked about it, that we're... oh, speaking of which, I forgot to appoint Amani, so let's get her going to Kabul right away. And then we already mentioned it, we're going to hold on to our envoy until we can get another one. We won't be getting their quest of recruiting a great general, so we'll have to wait for it until we either unlock it through getting a civic, or we just earn it. Either way, it won't be right now. I think what we'll do is we're going to head over here and kill this scout, because as soon as we clear out the barbarian camp there, and God willing we will be able to, that scout will go batshit crazy and attack our units. Okay, so now here we've actually going to go ahead and drop the mine. Okay, so the flood actually caused us to lose a population. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. This is definitely a location that we'll consider getting a dam in at some point, but it's just not in the cards right now, obviously, as we don't even have the technology. So what we're going to do is we're going to attack and kill the horse archer with our warrior there, and that leaves our archer available to move forward and pursue the barbarians here as well. So we're going to move forward with the rest of our army, and looks like we'll finally be able to destroy them. We got a nice little food and production bonus there from getting the pasture up online too, which is nice. Alright, so now that we got that taken care of, I think what we'll do is just end up... I think by now our trades from earlier should be finished. So let's see what will you give me for the coffee? You won't even give me 100. Let's check with the Germans. What about you? Oh, you don't even have money. Alright, they'll give me 9. Yeah, we'll take that. It's not going to help us out right away, but the increased income will add up fairly quickly, and we'll be able to buy that tile in a couple of turns. So we're going to go ahead and drop more production into our wonder there. Meanwhile, now with our archers that now that the barbarians are going to be taken care of, we're going to head over with our army and kind of get it onto our borders. Now, considering that we are still friends with them, we don't have anything to worry about from the Mongols for now, and it is fairly easy to keep your friendship going as long as you happen to notice the turn that the friendship expires. They basically will let you auto renew it as long as you catch it on that same turn. So we're going to be sending more troops to the south, and now I just noticed and got irritated even more. The fucking Congo took our city over here. So that spot is shit out of luck as well. So if I was playing this game, I would definitely be going to war with the Congo now, just out of sheer irritation, to be completely honest. And I would go for a culture victory, don't get me wrong, but I would go for that culture victory after taking out the Congo, and I would probably just basically talk to the Mongols and I would talk to the Germans and get them to all declare war with me, and we would just basically run a train on the Congo. Anyways, I'll go ahead and skip the turn with the builder there until we can afford the tile. And now I got confused for a second thinking that he was on the wonder, but we'll go ahead and get him to head over there so he can help build that wonder. We get the 2 air score for our galley, which is nice. We'll kill that horse archer there and get rid of them. And then finally, thank God, put this to rest. Not to mention, we'll get +3 air score for that, so we pulled within 7 of the era. However, we only have 10 turns until the end of the age. We're going to be getting 4 points for getting this. Is there another wonder that we could start and speed up quickly? Yeah, actually there is. If we move down here, I don't know if we'll be able to build it in time. We might just be able to squeak it out if we're lucky. But there was that Apanda, or whatever it was called, Apanda, Apandana. So with any luck, we'll be able to get them both squeezed out before the era ends. Alright, so anywho, let's take a look here at technology. Now that we have the ability to get commercial hubs up and increase our gold, I think what we'll want to do is definitely head towards celestial navigation so that we can hopefully build the Great Lighthouse as well as shipbuilding for Colossus. I haven't seen those go yet, so that would be nice to be able to get them. Clearly the Petra isn't in the cards that we were dealt in this game. Okay, so now with their galley, I would just send it out on exploration, and I think what we'll do is go ahead and purchase, as much as I want to purchase that tile, I think it's more important to lock in the price. Oh, it's 120 now. Alright, so I think it's more important to lock in the price of their theater square, seeing as how they're not going to be expanding there anytime soon. I'm still really regretting buying that mountain before I realized that Machu Picchu was already gone. I am tempted to throw down a commercial hub, but we'll save that for later. I think what we'll do is go ahead and grab another builder real quickly here. Okay, so now that they're toast, we'll send the warrior back here to chill out, and we're going to send the rest of our troops down towards our southern borders with they're already on their way, and yeah, we'll send them down here so that we can watch out for the Congo, and we'll just get that builder to go to sleep, and we'll keep forcing production here. We'll head over there with that warrior. Alright, so they want to buy some of our diplomatic favor. I don't really care about open borders, but sure, we'll take more gold per turn. Why not? Holy. Definitely regretting settling near these volcanoes, but unfortunately it is what it is. We're kind of limited in our start here. It looked good to begin with, but it's just something that we have to deal with for now. hopefully they'll stop erupting at some point in the near future. That would be great, but oh well. Anyways, we'll go back to just put that archer there to stay alert in the city. We're going to keep forcing production here so that hopefully we can get to Wonder. We're down to 4 more turns. It's going to be cutting it quite close, to be completely honest, as to whether or not we're able to get that second Wonder. I'm thinking probably not, but you never know, I guess. So alright, so meanwhile this archer can just stay alert down there. Alright, there's more eruptions. This one's active too now. At least it's fertilizing the tiles, I guess. Okay, so here we go. Got 1 turn left on that, so it's well worth using his last charge. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether we're going to be able to get that out in time or not. So, speaking of which, oops, didn't mean to do that, my bad. Speaking of which, we'll go ahead and get this builder to come head over there too in case we need to use his charge. And we'll have to skip turn.
I sprang upon the swift ship in the form of a dolphin. Pray to me as Apollo Delphinius. Also the altar itself shall be called Delphinius and overlooked forever.
Alright, nice. So we got the Oracle there. Yes, nobody cares,
People who
Germany.
cannot find time for recreation are sooner or later to find time for illness.
Okay, so now that we have the barbarians taken care of, we're definitely going to switch out of discipline. We'll leave conscription on to save us the money, since we do have a bit of a standing army now, and we'll definitely go ahead and slot in the campus district bonus for now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to slot in Corvée just temporarily. Just temporarily to give us every boost we can possibly have in order to try and get this, the Apadana in time here before the era ends. So now I am going to place it down. So the reason I'm placing it on this tile here is because that way, if we were to continue playing this game, which we're not going to, but if I did build this city here, it gives me a nice tile where I would be able to put their theater square here, and I'd be able to have a +2 adjacency on that theater square. Not to mention, if we did end up, we could even add things in, like going and putting a government plaza here, and even this city 1, 2, 3 would be able to get a theater square. Oh wait, never mind, we already placed their theater square. What am I talking about? Yeah, we already placed it up there, unfortunately. So that was a little bit of an oversight, but you can't play perfect all the time, right? But anyway, if we did end up going with the government plaza there, at least the capital and this city could build some districts around there and get some decent adjacency. So with that being said, that's why we're going to go ahead and place it here. And we're definitely going to get started. We are still on production focus, right? Oh, I guess not. So we're going to switch to production focus, and we're going to start boosting the production there with that guy. Hopefully we can get it down. We have 7 turns left to do it. It is fairly reasonable, I think. It would be nice to get another builder and possibly do a chop, though, if we could. How much do builders cost at this point? 325. Okay, so we need like basically $100, $101. So I think what we'll do, oh, I just noticed Genghis here's friendship is expired, so we definitely want to jump on that and declare our friendships so that they don't end up attacking us. So that's 30 more turns that we're safe from them. So unfortunately, they won't. We need 101 gold, and they already have jade, so they definitely won't trade for it. But let's try and get some money for. Let's go 10. Let's try and get some money for our diplomatic favor here. See just how high they'll go for the 3. In case you don't know, too, clearly as you can see here, the civilizations place a huge importance on diplomatic favor, especially as you go up into the higher ages. The further into the game you get, the more they value it. So you can definitely trade it away for a nice premium here. Alright, so we've finally found their limit. It's 39. So okay, so he values it at 13 gold per diplomatic favor, so we'll definitely take advantage of that. In the meantime, though, let's go ahead and see if he'll buy any horses from us. And let's see if he'll do 2. And let's see if he'll do 220. No. 210. Oh wait, he wouldn't even do 200. What am I doing? All right, so let's try 175. Okay, he'll do 140. All right, 146 is the magic number. I'll take it. We don't really need our horses at this point. Now, although I suppose buying a horseman would count, but we don't have enough money to do everything. So, what was I saying? We still need to get one more era score, because no. Yeah, this will be fine. Yeah. Never mind. I'm talking out my ass. Alright, so we managed to get it here, so we'll go ahead and we'll buy them another builder. So we'll get this guy, oops, wrong guy. We'll get this guy to head over here, and he's going to chalk that. And then between the 3 builders, we'll definitely have enough production in order to get that wonder up, which will secure us a normal age for next turn, for next era, which will be great. Alright, so we completed their theater square. Might as well go ahead and keep working on an amphitheater for now. Okay, so we'll fast forward that. Now we're down to 12 turns. We're going to go ahead and chop the forest here. So we're down to 9 turns, and we still have 6 turns to go. So I'm sure between the 2 builders that will be more than okay. I think actually what we'll do is get this builder to move to that forest. I don't want to chop that forest if I can avoid it, but if it comes down to it, it'll definitely be worth it. And yeah, so we'll skip turn with this builder here. This guy can take his promotion, and then we'll just basically hang out over there. Okay, so we got Celestial Navigation, which is nice. It will be able to, in a perfect world, build that harbor over here, and then that'll allow us to start work on those wonders at some point. If we were actually playing this game, we probably would go ahead and go through with that. Now, in the meantime here, okay, so this guy's gonna head over there. This one will head here and invest. So we're down to 5 turns. So I'm pretty sure we won't have to chop that forest. Yeah, considering they're even. So there you go. What we'll do is we'll just head over here and improve that quarry with that settler's last charge, or with that builder's last charge. And now we'll put this guy on alert over here. So I just want to take a quick second and say, if you are enjoying this video, if you're still with me, clearly you're enjoying it, do me a favor and please leave a like on the video. It goes a long way towards helping a channel as small as me get discovered, so that would be really great if you did do that. And if you're feeling really nice, you can also leave a comment down below. I mean, you can just call me an asshole, I don't care, whatever it is. You leaving a comment counts in general to helping it get discovered, no matter what you actually say. But yeah, let's just keep going with this here. Let's force another turn into it.
My ancestor Darius made this Apadana, but it was burnt down. By the grace of Ahura Mazda, Anahita, and Mithra, I reconstructed this Apadana.
I literally thought that he just said, by the grace of Ahura Mazda, like Ahura Mazda, but clearly not the case. Alright. So let's go ahead and get this builder to go and repair our mine finally. We finished that, so let's get them to finish their theater square right away. Now we got the extra envoys from that too, which means that we definitely can get the suzerainship, but there's no point wasting our era score. It's much better to just sit there and wait 4 more turns until the next era, and then become suzerain of those city-states at that point, because we'll actually be able to use the era score towards helping us secure a golden age in the following era. Okay, so in the meantime, we'll just head down here and we'll park this archer in this city and tell them to stay on alert. Okay, so the Germans are sending us a delegation. Sure, why not? Now I think we can finally afford to pick up this tile for them, and we'll get them to start on a theater square right away so that we can lock it in, and it's a pretty damn good theater square too, +4. Not the dream theater square that we had originally envisioned, but you know, you can't get what you want all the time. So we'll go ahead and get a quarry here with his last charge. Or wait, I assumed his gender, I'm sorry. With the builder's last charge. Okay, meanwhile, with this builder, I don't really think we have a wonder to rush in the near future, so I think for the most part we can just hold out until we end up getting a harbor up, which will be quite some time actually. So you might as well go ahead and we'll head down here and start chopping this rainforest, and we'll be able to get those tiles up and running as soon as our borders expand. Okay, so we'll repair the mine here. And then what we'll do is go ahead and get the mine going there too. Now what I want to do, oh, I just realized, is declare our friendship here with the Germans because it expired. Now, the Congo are happy with us. I guess it kind of does make sense since we're not going really heavy. We'll still have 8 cities, right? 5 and 8. Yeah, screw it. I would suggest if you're a new player and you were in this situation to just declare the damn friendship if you weren't comfortable having a war. So I'll go ahead and do it as if we're afraid of such a thing. But actually, afraid of such a thing is probably a bad way to say it. It's just a waste of production. Like, in order to get an army up online, it's going to take away so much from us getting our culture game going and expanding to take these actual cities that we want to. So this way you just have a free reign to pursue the actual agenda that you have that's going to help you win the game faster. So it's probably more efficient to just keep all 3 of them as friends. Because 8 cities is going to be a little bit tough, but it's not the end of the world. Anyways, we'll go ahead and chop the rainforest here.
If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with the channel.
Sure, you can send us a delegation, why not? Alright, and there we go. We've entered the medieval era. We didn't build quite as many wonders as we had originally wanted to, but that wasn't our fault. The barbarians kind of threw a wrench into our plans there, so we still did get quite a few up. And if we were playing this, we could still probably get at least one of the Great House or the Colossus. I don't think it's gone yet. Yeah, Jebel Barkal is gone. Yeah, so it still hasn't gone yet, and that's probably what I would try and do, as well as get your city set up so that we could at least have the 8 city minimum that we talked about. And I would definitely be doing that right about now, at least for these 2 cities, in order to secure our borders, and then we can backfill with that one. But this is where we're going to be leaving it, so I just want to say thanks for watching. And again, if you haven't thrown a like on the video yet, be a sweetheart and do it for me. It helps. But with that said, I'm going to shut up, and I'll just see you in the next video.